Just when I thought I was done with you, you pull me right back in. James B. Beam Distilling Company has released the second Booker's Bourbon batch of 2022. This is the Lumberyard Batch. The batch is named in honor of the lumberyard that Booker No worked at during his pre-distillery years. As you may or may not know, each Booker's comes with its own story, but the only story I feel like people care about is the price of Booker's these days. $90 to $100 for a 6-year-old barrel-proof bourbon. Booker's was the bourbon that made me love bourbon way back when. I haven't bought one in probably over a year. I saw this, it kind of just appeared, figured why not, let's try the Lumberjack batch and see if I could rekindle some of the love I found all those years ago. It's the Mash and Drum. What's up, folks? I'm Jason C. from the Mash and Drum. Welcome back to the show. While his journey to becoming a distiller wasn't a straight path from his hopes of joining the Air Force to his long days at the local lumberyard, it led him to his true passion. His time at the lumberyard shaped the solid work ethic and curiosity he is known for, and this ultimately helped Fred No land his first role at the distillery and eventually his way up to master distiller. All right, pour a little Booker's. Booker's Bourbon is bottled uncut at its natural proof, inspired by a 200-year-old family tradition. The legend Booker No, Jim Beam's grandson and 6th generation master distiller, first created Booker's Bourbon as a Christmas gift for close friends and family. Booker took barrels found in the center cut of the rack house and bottled the bourbon straight from the barrel. Booker's Lumberyard Batch is available nationwide beginning right now in limited quantities with a suggested retail price of about $90. This batch happens to be 7 years, 1 month, and 7 days old, 124.8 proof. Kind of nice to see a batch that's over 6 years old. Now, the one thing folks say about Booker's these days is that why should I buy this when I can get a Knob Creek single barrel at 120 proof, 9 years old, and for only about 60 bucks? It's more than a valid argument. But what I think folks forget is that the thing that has always made Booker's stand out, even from Knob Creek single barrel, is not how long it's aged, but where it's aged. I still personally think that the center cut part of the warehouse does provide a unique profile, not found in most Knob Creek single barrels. However, for the most part, that difference in flavor isn't enough to warrant a $40 to $50 price jump. But let's find out if the new Lumberyard batch is worth that price jump. So let's dive in. I haven't bought a Booker's in quite a while. So far this has all the attributes you would expect from a good Booker's. Peanut shell, hint of chocolate. The one thing I will say this does have, which is promising to me, is a little bit of a dark fruit note. I'm just saying, most Booker's that just comes across as just peanut shell, you know, dry peanut, little chocolate, caramel, kind of oak, your basics. For me, the Booker's that you want are the ones that actually have some more layered profile to it. Maybe going all the way 7 years gave this a little bit more complexity. But I mean, it's still all Booker's. It's peanut, it's chocolate, it's caramel. It's almost like a Cracker Jack type profile. Definitely some oak presence. All right. I mean, not too much out of the ordinary here. Let's try it. Interesting. This has like this creamy peanut butter texture to me. It is peanut buttery. I feel like there's a hint of a dark fruit in there. I'm not sure if it's a cherry or it's so faint to me, but it is there, which I do like because just Booker's, I feel like that's the reason why it's hard to spend that type of money on it, because it's just so straightforward. You don't normally get a lot of complexity except for you know, those flavors that you're used to. You know, I want something that's a little bit more, you know, rounded in flavor. You know, second and third sip, I'm surprised at how easy this was drinking. It's actually like really kind of mellowed out. Now on the back of it, I mean, all the percentages came from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different locations made up this blend. 7 different locations. The batch was pulled during the rainy weeks ahead of the Kentucky Derby, it says here. This beautiful batch reminds me of the horses that will compete on the racetrack. The aroma is deep with hints of vanilla and oak that lead you back to enjoy it several times to explore its depth. I will say this does actually have some more depth to it than regular Bookers that I'm used to. The last Bookers that I remember that I had was, again, peanut shell, straightforward, peanut funk, chocolate, high proof, good amount of burn, good amount of ethanol as well. This one it's more rounded. It's just kind of a little bit, I don't want to say it's easy because it's still 124 and change, but there's an elevated sweetness to this one that doesn't get overly peanut shell and drying like a lot of other Bookers do. Now, to me, does that warrant paying 90 to 100 bucks for this one? I don't know. I think if you're a Booker's fan, you would probably love this one. But if you're still like kind of hesitant on spending the money on a Booker's, I don't know. I don't know if this one still stands out enough, you know, like Country Ham. Country Ham I still think is the last great bottle of Booker's that there was, most recently. So yeah, it's weird. It's like, okay, so most Bookers fall in the 6-year range. The 7 years, even though this has a solid 7 on it, I really do feel like it's making a little bit of a difference. Now, I don't know if it's just my head playing into it, but I feel like, again, it's a little bit more of an elevated sweetness. There's a lot more vanilla coming through on here. I'm getting definitely some more sweet oak, but I'm not really getting that dry peanut shell, you know, 2 to 3 note type experience that you normally get on a Booker's. You know what? I'll say this. It's one of the better Booker's batches that I've had in a while. I do like it. There is like that slight dark fruit note on the very, very back end. I do think it's like a little bit like of a hint of a medicinal cherry that I'm getting a little bit. But I really like this batch, actually. I'm glad I grabbed this one. And the only reason why I grabbed it is because I saw that 7-year age statement on it. That was really a selling point, because I'm like, wow, I haven't seen a Booker's with a 7 on it in quite some time. So I grabbed it. All right. Before we go, I have to compare this to Country Ham. All right, guys, here it is. The legend. My last bottle I have left of Country Ham. Just going to swirl it around a little bit. All right. Country Ham was only 6 years, 4 months, and 2 days old. So younger than this. 124.7. So, man, it's only 1/10 below the Lumberyard Batch. My God, I have Booker's wax shrapnel and it's friggin' falling all over the place. Look at this. Oh my God. All right. That's what happens with the Bookers and the knobs. Bookers and knobs, the cop show you didn't know you needed. Bookers and knobs coming to a theater near you. Okay. Country Ham. Man, I haven't had Country Ham in a hot minute. Yeah, for whatever reason, Country Ham just still seems to come off a little bit older than what the age would indicate. There's just so much more depth of flavor on here, at least even coming off the nose. I will say, though, that the Lumberyard Batch, again, has like an accentuated sweetness to it that you don't normally get on a Booker. So let's try the Country Ham. Can't wait. I forgot how damn good that thing is. It's just like this fruity brown sugar creme brulee bomb, Country Ham. I don't know what it is I don't know what happened with this batch, but Country Ham was just killer. All right, quick transition to Lumberyard. So when you compare the two, Lumberyard starts off really sweet, kind of hits your mid palate. You get all the oak, you get a lot of vanilla extract. There's a really good amount of vanilla creme brulee type thing going on. The one thing I will say that I think Lumberyard has over the Country Ham is the texture of it. For whatever reason, Lumberyard to me is just coming off creamier. However, even though I feel like it's creamier, it's not as flavorful as the Country Ham. It actually drinks really easy for, you know, 124.8 proof of Booker's Power. Booker's Power is too much. I can't take it. The thing with the Lumberyard is that it does start off like a typical Booker's. You get the peanut, you get the chocolate. There's almost like this peanut buttery aspect to it. A little bit of a dark fruit note on the back end. But it actually drinks real easy for 124.8. Go back to the Country Ham. The Country Ham, you get all the flavor from front to back. It's just an absolute flavor monster. And I still think Country Ham compared to Lumberyard's, Country Ham still reigns supreme. Also, what I do want to bring up, so I put a poll out on Instagram asking folks, you know, do you still chase Bookers? So here are the results I got. Out of 2,451 people, 67% voted no, I don't chase Bookers anymore. 33% said yes. Overall, like I said, I think Lumberyard Batch Bookers fans will still love this one, but for folks that have been staying away from Bookers for a little bit, I would actually put this in the try before you buy category, because I think there's enough there that it could be interesting for enough folks to pull the trigger on this one, especially now that it's 7 years old. But like I said, it's still no Country Ham. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review for the new Booker's Lumberyard Batch from Jim Beam. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the subscribe button below. Please hit the like button. If you haven't yet, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter. Let me know if you've had this one, if you pulled the trigger, if you tried it yet. And also let me know if actually you still are interested in Bookers, but you kind of keep Bookers at arm's length because you just not always sure about it. I always like to hear from you guys in the comments. And as I always say, it's not about the whiskey, it's the people you share it with. So what I'm gonna do real quick is I'm gonna blend Country Ham and Lumberyard. I'm gonna call it the, let's call it Lumber Ham. I don't know why, that's just a cool name. Lumber Ham. Lumber Ham blend. Now I remember if you blended Country Ham with Beaten Biscuits, which I think was the release that followed Country Ham, that was a freaking hitter of a blend. But right now, I'm gonna try this this Lumber Ham. Let's see what happens. Guys, Lumber Ham. Wow. Oh my God. All right, I'm gonna go make a full bottle of that. Cheers, guys.